Thank you. Missing me. Hare Hare. What song today? Huh? Sorry?
Purandara ಸ್ಮರಣೆ ಒಂದೇ ಗೋವಿಂದನಾಮ.
Oh, Kannada. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. Welcome back, all the devotees. There's some resound. Can we adjust it slightly? Hare Krishna. It's going up and down. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. So today I was asked to speak on why devotees suffer. Right. So everyone here is a devotee, right? Practicing Krishna consciousness. Are you suffering or not? Is there some difficulty in life or not? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, no problem. So suffering comes because of multiple reasons. The resound will spoil the show. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Is it because of that? Should I take that? Does it work better? Hare Krishna. Hare Hare. Okay. My God. Gone. It's gone. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Either resound or no sound. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, let's try. Let's do like this only. It's a bit distracting, but or is it because it's very close to me? Should you take it very far or little far? If it helps, I don't know. It has wheels. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's do something. I'll begin with a story from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the story of Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj, uh, he heard that Kali has entered his kingdom and is creating a lot of disturbance in the kingdom and also spoiling the minds of innocent people of his kingdom. So Kali uh, is creating such havoc in the kingdom of Parikshit Maharaj where dharma is supposed to be upheld. Parikshit is the descendant of Kaurava, Kuru dynasty. When you say Kauravas, generally Duryodhan is what comes to mind. I think it's too distracting. I'll speak without sound system. Okay. And I can't focus on the past time. You can remove this. You can take this out. Devotees can come closer. Hare Krishna. You can come closer. Devotees can come closer. I hope the devotees behind also can hear. I'll just try to speak a bit louder. Yeah, sure. Thank you. So, in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a narration where Parikshit Maharaj heard that
Hare Krishna, Hare
it's resounding.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I can try. Hare Krishna. We're chanting Krishna's names multiple times, but it's not the okay, let me try for a while, otherwise I'll take it out. Can you settle down? I was discussing this story of Parikshit Maharaj, who has heard that Kali has entered his kingdom and was creating a lot of disturbance and changing the minds of people. The nature of Kali is to induce a lot of falsehood, ulterior motives, selfish agendas, and many other bad qualities in the minds of common people. That's the nature of Kali. So Parikshit just wanted to protect his kingdom from the influence of Kali, and he took his bow and arrows, got on his chariot, and started traveling all over his kingdom. And he came to a place where he saw a cow and a bull being tormented by a person who was actually looking like a lowly person but dressed like a king. He was uh, beating the cow and bull. He has already chopped off the three legs of the bull, and the bull was barely trying to stand on one leg. And the cow was very weak, very thin, very sad, with tears in her eyes. She was not even having sufficient grass to eat, and she was separated from her calf. So both were suffering because of Kali. And who is that cow? She was none other than Mother Earth. She was a pure devotee of Krishna, not even a practicing devotee of Krishna. She was suffering because of Kali. And Dharma, the bull was Dharma personified, and he was also suffering. He lost his three legs. So Dharma has four legs. What are the four legs of Dharma? Who knows? You know what?
Tapasaucham daya satyam.
Jai Ho. Tapa Shaucham Daya Satyam. Tapa means austerity. What is austerity? Okay. What is austerity? Kirti? Yes. Ranchod, what is austerity?
Voluntarily accepting bodily inconvenience, spiritual growth.
Wonderful. Voluntarily accepting some inconveniences upon oneself for the purpose of advancing in spiritual life, or for the purpose of achieving anything great. So, tapaha. Shaucham means daya, mercy, compassion. Okay. Satyam, truthfulness. So, dharma is to stand on four legs. In previous yugas, in Krita Yuga. But when Kali Yuga came, Dharma was barely standing on one leg. Okay. And seeing Dharma's condition, Mother Earth was lamenting even more. So Parikshit Maharaj came there. He saw both of them suffering. And he saw the person next to them. He became extremely furious with that person. He immediately picked up his sword to kill Kali. So that's the nature of a great king. Whenever he sees an innocent person suffering like this, especially when cow and bull are being tormented by somebody, a king cannot tolerate. A king should not tolerate. He immediately wanted to chop off the head of this Kali. But Parikshit Maharaj thought, let me take a statement of accusation from the victims. Okay, so let Dharma Bull give a statement that he is the cause of my suffering. Then I can immediately arrest him or kill him. Forget arresting. No more arresting business. Just kill him. So he went to Dharma and asked Dharma. He did not recognize him as Dharma by that moment. He just asked, "Oh bull, you look so white. You look so bright. You look very effulgent, but you are lamenting. Three of your legs are cut. So who has caused you this kind of problem? Can you please tell me? Whoever that may be, I am going to punish that person. Even if it's a devata living in the heavens, I wouldn't uh, spare him. So you just tell me who is the cause of your suffering, I will immediately punish that person." Then Dharma Bull said, Parikshit, what can I say? You have spoken so eloquently that you will protect me from any kind of disturbances, or you can punish even devatas. That's very good. It's befitting your dynasty, Kuru dynasty. You're upholding the glory of your dynasty. Your grandfathers are great personalities, the Pandavas. They are great devotees of Krishna. You are basically trying to protect Dharma, and I appreciate you, but I cannot say who exactly caused my suffering. Why? I'm confused. Okay. Some people say karma is the cause of my suffering. You know what is karma? The fruit you bagages, the results of one's past misdeeds. That is karma. So some people say karma is the cause of suffering. And some other people say kala is the cause of suffering. You know what is kala? Time factor. Because of time, there is suffering. Karma, kala. Some people say swabhava is the cause of suffering. one's own innate nature, okay, the way we behave, our attitude, that is the cause of suffering. Some people say like that. And some other people say that Atma is the cause of suffering, one's own self. Okay. Like that, different people give different explanations. Some people say Daiva is the cause of suffering, means supernatural powers, right? Unseen supernatural powers, Devatas, natural disasters, they are the cause of suffering. So karma, kala, daiva, swabhava, so many explanations are given to describe who is the cause of suffering. But I cannot understand it. Apratarkyat anirdeshyat means with my intelligence I cannot figure out who is the cause of the suffering. And my logical abilities, my abilities of good reasoning, all of them fail in understanding the cause of my suffering. So Dharma said this. Then you know what Parikshit said? You must be Dharma. Why you are Dharma? Because you are not pointing out somebody as the cause of your suffering. Okay. So one who knows Dharma will not point out that so and so person is the cause of my suffering. He caused my suffering. She caused my suffering. A knower of Dharma will not say like this. So, but all the explanations given by Dharma here, are they totally wrong? Karma, Kala, Swabhava, Daiva, are they not cause of suffering? Yes, they are. Yes, because of karma we suffer, no doubt. Because of Kala we suffer. Now it is summer, it's little warm. When it becomes winter, it becomes extremely cold, right? So because of the change of time, seasons change, and that will bring some suffering to us, right? When it is too hot, then we start sweating, there is suffering, right? There's some boils on people's faces if it is too hot. So there is suffering because of Kala, definitely. Is there no suffering because of karma? There is a lot of fruity baggage, so many sinful activities people do and they suffer because of that. Karma is the cause of suffering, definitely. Karma is cause, Kala is cause, Swabhava, one's own attitude. And people have some harsh attitudes, people have some mentalities that are that inspire them, instigate them to commit some mistakes in their relationships, definitely they will suffer, isn't it? So Daiva, supernatural powers, definitely. All the seasons change and Devatas are changing the climates here. Indra created unseasonal rains in Vrindavan, that caused some suffering, right? So Devas also cause suffering. So there are multiple explanations given. Karma, Kala, Swabhava, Daiva, all these are causes of suffering. It's not incorrect to say, that karma, Kala, Daiva are causes of suffering. But it is incomplete explanation. Karma is cause of suffering, but there's some deeper explanation. Kala is the cause of suffering, there's something much deeper. And that's what Dharma Bull said at the end. Apratarkyat anirdeshyat. You cannot understand the cause of suffering. What is that thing? That cause which is not understandable by our intelligence. That is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Krishna is the cause of all causes. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. He is Sarvakarana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 4th shloka, Krishna is saying, you can get the mic stand. Krishna was saying that Buddhir Jnanam Asammoha Kshama Satyam Damaha Shamaha. Then Ahimsa, Samata Tushti, Tapo Danam Yasho Yashaha. Maybe I'm mixing up a couple of shlokas, but Bhayam Cha Abhayam Eva Cha. Sukham Dukkham Bhavo Bhavo Bhayam Cha Bhayam Eva Cha. Correct. So Krishna is the cause of Sukha Dukkha. He's the cause of happiness also. He's the cause of distress also. He's the cause of fear also. He's the cause of fearlessness also. He's the cause of everything. Right? So even if there are some negative qualities present in this world, it is Krishna who is causing all of them, isn't it? So Krishna is the cause of everything. Yeah, I'll come to that. I will address all the possible objections. Right? So I'm just building up. I'm not concluding anything now. We are just analyzing. We are not concluding. So we'll analyze and then we'll come to conclusions. So according to those couple of shlokas that Krishna spoke in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 4th, 5th, 6th shlokas, he is the cause of everything. He is the cause of happiness, he is the cause of distress. He is the cause of victory, he is the cause of failure. He is the cause of success, he is the cause of defeat. He is the cause of darkness, he is the cause of light. He is the cause of everything. He is Sarvakarana Karanam. In that Sarvakarana, even distress is also there, not only happiness, right? Happiness is caused by the Lord and distress is not caused by the Lord. No, everything is caused by the Lord. This is one explanation, just park it. How many causes we discussed? Karma, Kala, Daiva, Swabhava, and now Krishna. When we say Daiva, we are not equating Daiva with Krishna here at this moment. It's a supernatural powers only. So supernatural powers, our fruity baggage, time factor, our own attitudes and deeds and moods and all this. These are multiple causes of suffering, and ultimately Krishna is the cause of all causes. Ultimate cause. Fine. We have discussed at least 5 causes of suffering. Now, coming back to the conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and the Dharma Bull. Dharma Bull said that we are confused about the cause of our suffering because different philosophers explain different causes of suffering. This indicates that in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to ascertain the cause of suffering. It is difficult to ascertain dharma in Kali Yuga. What is dharma could be seen by people as adharma. What is adharma could be seen by people as dharma also sometimes. Right? Kali Yuga is filled with confusions. Okay, that's another lesson that is indicated in this conversation. Now let me give the small example. Sun is rising in the sky, and you are standing in front of the sun when he is rising. What do you see? Light, isn't it? Brightness. I think I said this example recently somewhere. Yeah. When you turn your face away from the sun, what do you see? Shadow. So sun is the cause of that light also. Sun is the cause of the shadow also, which is darkness. But we are seeing light when you are facing the sun. You are seeing darkness when you are turning your face away from the sun. So that's where your point comes: freedom, free will, swecha, or the little independence that we have. So when we use our independence in Krishna's service, or not only in Krishna's service, when we use our independence properly to do good activities, then we encounter happiness. When we misuse our independence, then we encounter distress. Fine, even on a material plane also. For example, father gives some pocket money to the child. Fine, you can use it the way you want. And the child is using that pocket money for some good purposes, then the father is happy. Oh, this child is uh, purchasing some pen or pencil or something useful for his studies, academics. Fine, no problem. He doesn't misuse money, so I can give him money. No problem. I can trust him. But if the father notices that the child is using that money to smoke cigarettes or to do something else, wasting that money, father will withdraw, cut down the pocket money. Right? So no more money for you. Isn't it? Let me give you one more example. A farmer ties a cow with a 10 meters rope to a pillar. Okay. So when a farmer ties the cow with a 10 meters rope to a tree, the cow can sit anywhere in this circle, 10 meters radius circle. So the circle of 10 meters radius is there, and a cow can sit anywhere in it. It can sit under the shadow of the tree, or the cow can sit in a portion where there is nice sunlight, sunshine. Cow can sleep, cow can stand, cow can walk, cow can wander, whatever. But everything within the 10 meters radius circle. But if the cow starts hitting people, whoever is coming inside the 10-meter radius, or cow is doing something which is objectionable, The farmer will tie the cow with, say, 4-meter radius rope. Okay, so the independence is restricted because this cow or this bull is aggressive and attacking people. So the independence of the cow must be restricted. But if the cow is very, yeah, Hare Krishna. But if the cow is not very aggressive, it's calm, it is quiet, it is sadhu. Sometimes the farmer may not even bind the cow only. The entire pasturing ground is here only for you. You can just move in front of our Goshala, right? So the cow will not leave the farmer, will not leave the house, will not leave the Goshala. There is no need of rope only. So those who misuse their independence uh, will be restricted in utilizing that independence. Those who use independence properly will be given more and more independence. So we need to judiciously use our independence. We need to wisely use our independence. Just because we have power, if we misuse it, just because we have independence, we start insulting people, blaming people, cheating people, taking advantage of people, exploiting people. Definitely, so selfish mentality is will face its repercussions. Okay, so we need to understand that I'm encountering happiness because I utilized my independence properly, wisely, and aligned my intelligence with values, principles, virtues, morals, teachings of the scriptures. But because I'm I have misused my independence is getting restricted and I'm encountering suffering. If I don't align myself with proper values and principles, if I start speaking or acting against scriptures, then naturally that independence is restricted. Okay. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yah Shastra Vidhimutsrujya Vartate Kamakarataha Nasa Siddhimavapnoti Nasukham Naparangatim. Yah Shastra Vidhimutsrujya. If we behave against the Shastras, Vartate Kamakarataha. If we behave whimsically, Nasa Siddhimavapnoti. There is no Siddhi. There is no perfection. Na sukham, no happiness. Na parangatim, forget liberation. Okay. So there is no sukham, there is only dukkham if we act against Shastra. Clear? So we have understood two things in this little discussion. Number one, Krishna is the cause of all causes. He only sanctions the suffering also. Why does he sanction suffering? It's not that we suffer because of his desire. He doesn't desire to give us suffering, by the way. He is the cause of suffering in the sense that he created a system. If you do good deeds, you will get good results, happiness. If you do bad deeds, you will get bad results, distress. Because he created the system, he is the cause. As simple as that. Okay. So some company has manufactured your mobile phone, for example. Okay. It has certain options. And you're unable to do something on the mobile. Who is the cause? The manufacturer. And you're able to do some things on the mobile. Who is the cause? Manufacturer. He's designed it that way. You're unable to click nice photo because the camera resolution may be low. Are you able to take good photos because the camera resolution is good? So, cause of happiness or distress, cause of good photos or bad photos will go to the manufacturer ultimately. But does he have anything against you? No, he doesn't hold anything against you. If you have budget, you can purchase a mobile which is high end where you can click better photos. Okay, if you don't have budget, then you can take something more, something simple, and then you can get mediocre photo, something like that. I'm giving a crude example from day-to-day life. So ultimately, manufacturer is not the cause of your suffering. You, okay? So means we have made a choice to choose certain brand, to choose certain model, to choose certain configuration. It's we. We are the cause, right? We are the cause of our own deeds. And because the manufacturer has created a system which works according to our choice. He created, oh, this mobile can give you this performance only, this gadget can give you this performance only, this gadget can give you this performance only. Now you have a choice, depending on whatever your choice, you just pick up something, then you will get that performance only. Ultimately, the manufacturer is the cause, but he is giving you that kind of experience because of your choice. Similarly, Krishna is the manufacturer of this entire universe. In this universe, there is happiness also, distress also. You will encounter happiness if you use your independence nicely. If you think and act and speak properly, you will encounter happiness. But if you think, act, and speak improperly, if your body, mind, and words are being utilized in unmentionable, undesirable ways, you will encounter distress. We are getting distress because it is sanctioned by the Lord. But why did the Lord sanction to distress to us only? Because of our own past mistakes. Is it clear? So we found two causes of suffering. Now, ourselves and the Supreme Lord. Our own past misdeeds and Krishna's sanction. That's why we are encountering suffering. So these two are the main causes. Krishna and me and Krishna. They are the causes. And we have seen other causes also, karma, kala, swabhava, daiva, other things. Okay. These are there. These are correct causes. But complete understanding is coming from this discussion. Okay. So knowing this, devotees do not blame people unnecessarily. Let me tell you another example story. I spoke the story of Dharma bull, right? Dharma, Dhara, and Parikshit. So Dharma did not choose to blame anyone. You are the cause. Kali is the cause of my suffering. No. Why did Kali flourish now? By Krishna's sanction. Krishna's sanction and Kali is flourishing? Yes, of course. The Lord has created seasons, right? You have summer, then there is winter, then there is monsoon. You have multiple seasons in a year. Similarly, in the cosmic time, there are multiple yugas. After Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga should come, then Dwapar Yuga, then Kali Yuga. The Lord has created the seasons. If Kali Yuga is troubling you, Krishna is not the cause. Ultimately, Krishna is the cause because he only sanctioned that manifestation of Kali Yuga. But why did you take birth in Kali Yuga? You were there in Krita Yuga also. You could not perfect your life and go back to Godhead. That's why you have taken birth in Kali Yuga. Why are you blaming Krishna? Why are you blaming 10 people around you? Right? Because of our own misdeeds, because we did not work on our own self-realization, we ended up in taking birth in Kali Yuga and we're struggling here. Okay. Krishna is the cause because of his decision only, yugas are changing. Okay, yugas are changing, seasons are changing, days are changing, weeks are changing, months are changing. There is time factor here because of Krishna. Kalosmi, Krishna said, I am the time factor. In that sense, Krishna is the cause. So karma system is created by Krishna. Daiva, the Lord is the one who has empowered all the devatas. Karma, kala, swabhava, daiva, all these are ultimately under the umbrella of Krishna, the supreme cause of all causes. But that Krishna is acting in a certain way because of our own misdeeds. Okay. So now there is bumblebee, honeybee. Honeybee goes into a lotus flower. Okay. There's a lotus, nice lotus, and honeybee goes into the lotus flower and starts drinking honey, putting a straw there. Okay. Happily drinking honey. Completely lost. There's so much honey there, and the honeybee is lost in drinking the honey. Eventually, sun started setting, and the lotus petals started closing, and honeybee is continuing to drink the honey. So, because the lotus petals started closing, honeybee was entrapped inside the lotus and died. Who is the cause of honeybee's death? Ultimately, the sun, in one sense. But do you blame the sun? Sun is doing his job, right? Sun is doing his job. Sun is not attached to killing the honeybee or saving the honeybee. He's doing his job. Honeybee is supposed to be little smart and to understand it is sunset time. I should get out of this place. But honey became very greedy. The bee became greedy and started drinking so much honey that it lost his life. So, yeah, Krishna is the ultimate cause, but Krishna is causing suffering in reciprocation to our misdeeds only. The suffering that we are getting is also sanctioned by the Lord, but the Lord is sanctioning that suffering in response to our own activities. our own thoughts. So we are the cause. Okay. A judge may be sitting in the court. So many examples. If the point is clear, I don't have to give so many examples. You want more examples? The judge is sitting and giving his verdict. Okay, this person has to be rewarded, and this person has to be punished. Put him in jail for 14 years. So all this the judge is speaking. But does the judge have anything personal against the criminals whom he is punishing? No. The criminal's own activities are cause of the punishment. Apparently, the punishment is coming from the judge. He is the one who's sanctioning that punishment. Yes, this person has to be imprisoned for the next 14 years. And the same judge, if the person's behavior is good, he can reduce that 14 years imprisonment into 7 years also. Oh, um, his conduct is very good. Let us release him before the 14 years imprisonment is over. You understand? So ultimately, we keep saying that destiny, God, fate, karma, so many things we say, but we don't recognize ourselves as the cause of all our suffering. Ah, it's my fate. That's why I got less marks. No, you do not study properly. Right? The child will say, I didn't get less marks. Why? Fate, destiny, karma. Everything is predestined. Krishna has sanctioned these many marks on you. No, you do not work hard. So we unnecessarily blame Krishna for it. Okay. Or the student who is sitting in front of me did not show his or her answer sheet. That's why I did not get marks. or, or he wrote wrong answer. I copied and I got wrong answer. Right? So there was some. We used to have this competitive exams. There you don't have to write. They'll give an OMR sheet. In those days they used to call OMR sheet. There is number one, question number one, 4 bubbles, A, B, C, D. Number two, 4 bubbles, A, B, C, D. So now you just have to fill in. Okay, you just have to circle. Just darken the circle with your pencil. That's how you used to write exam. Only one answer sheet. And one guy was sitting behind a very bright student. He just exactly copied. He was able to see all the bubbles. You can see the pattern. The pattern is going like a snake. He exactly copied all the bubbles. He thought I will also get first rank. He failed. Why? Ah, question paper is different, answer paper is same. Right? You can't say he is the cause of my suffering. Right? You do not study properly. And some people, they take a 1 rupee coin, they do like this. Okay, heads AB, tail CD. So they will shortlist. So then again one more, A or B, C or D. So when he gets heads, and when he gets heads, he gets A and B. Head means A and B. So now again I have to toss to find A or B. A is head and B is tail. He'll get tail. Okay, you put B. Okay. So that's how many MCQ tests are like gambling. Right? Yes. We'll ask questions at the end. Okay, let's continue the flow. So, anyways, we need to understand that whatever suffering that we are experiencing in this life is because of our own activities. When we identify like this, then there is some, what is the peace in life. The more we search for the cause of our suffering outside ourselves, the more we suffer, the more we get frustrated. Whenever we encounter some difficulty, an average human being starts searching the cause of this difficulty outside oneself. Because we never desire suffering for ourselves. We never endeavor for encountering suffering consciously, right? I didn't desire it, I didn't work for it. Why am I getting it? There must be someone else who is the reason. I'm not the reason, someone else is the reason. So there is some search going on. Who is the cause of my suffering? Who is the cause of my suffering? And people go to different places. Mystic people, can you please tell me who is creating this problem in my life? Okay. So is somebody hypnotizing me? Somebody is putting a spell on me. It may happen. It may happen. Okay. But please understand, unless we deserve it, we don't get it. Let me tell you one story from the fourth canto of Bhagavatam. There is a little boy, 5-year-old child Dhruva. He saw his father Uttanapad keeping a small child on his lap. Who is that child? Uttama, the younger son. So Uttama was the son of, who is the mother of Uttama? Suruchi. And who is the mother of Dhruva? Suniti. All of you know the story. My life is easy now. So Dhruva found that Uttama was sitting on the lap of his father. I also want to sit. He went, and you know what Suruchi did? She chastised Dhruva. She insulted Dhruva. She said, "You are not qualified to sit on the father's throne. You are also the son of the king, but being the son of the king is not sufficient qualification. There is a necessary qualification. You understand? In mathematics, you have sufficient condition and necessary condition, right? So this is not sufficient for you. What is necessary? You have to be my son also. For that, what you need to do? Worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu. And if he gives you a boon, you can become my son in your next life, then you can sit on father's throne." She is recommending worship of Vishnu. Not that she is a great devotee of Vishnu. She just wanted to impress Uttanapad. Uttanapad should think, "Oh, my wife is such a great devotee of Vishnu. She's recommending Dhruva that he also has to worship Vishnu." So she wanted to impress him. So if you worship Lord Vishnu, he can be relieved from this repeated birth and death cycle. Why he has to take birth again in the womb of an arrogant woman like Suruchi Dattu? But Suruchi, out of her ego, false pride, attributed so much of self-importance to herself that to take birth in my womb, one should have the benediction of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. That is her arrogance. Anyways, Dhruva became very upset. To cut the long story short, Dhruva ran towards his mother. You know what Mother Suniti said? She was already undergoing so much pain. Davagnina davalateva bala. She was like a tender creeper that's burning in forest fire. Okay. So she was already in pain because of husband's neglect and co-wife's insults. She was very much in pain. And now her son, her one and only hope, he was insulted. He was deprived of a small privilege to sit on father's lap. Right? Even that much little bit of a desire also was not fulfilled. Sitting on father's lap is like is a right of any child. And forget father, no elder would deny a small 5-year-old child's desire. Okay, if he's coming for some affection, any elder will just pat on the back and then put some blessing on the head. He will do something. But here, Uttanapad, being a king, being a father, being an elder, he thoroughly disappointed Dhruva. And that pained the heart of Mother Suniti. What did she do? She's a nice devotee, great devotee of Vishnu. You know what she said? "My dear Dhruva, please don't desire harm for anyone who must have caused you suffering." The very first statement that came out of Suniti's mouth as soon as she saw Dhruva in pain was, "Don't desire harm for others. Even if they have harmed you, you should not desire harm for them." First advice. First golden advice given by Mother Suniti. And you know what is the second advice given by Suniti? She said, whatever suffering we are experiencing now is only a result of our own past misdeeds. To be more accurate, she said, a person reaps the results of his or her own past misdeeds. One may interpret the statement like this: Suruchi insulted you, she will suffer in future. That's not the mood of Suniti. She said, we must have caused some harm to others in the past, now we are experiencing this. She's not desiring harm for Suruchi, and she's also telling Dhruva not to desire harm for Suruchi. And she's saying that because we have caused harm to someone else earlier, now we are getting it back. Not that she wants Suruchi to suffer in future. That's the nature of a devotee. Two advices, right? Now, third advice. Whatever desire you have, please worship Krishna. Okay, these are the three things that Mother Suniti spoke to Dhruva. Can you please repeat what are the three?
Don't desire harm for others.
Don't desire harm for others. Understand that we suffer because of our own past misdeeds. Whatever desire you have to fulfill it, worship Lord Vishnu. Three advices. First two things did not enter the head of Dhruva. The third thing entered. First two things he could not understand. He still had a revengeful attitude towards Suruchi. Then second thing, I am the cause of my own suffering. No, I cannot accept it. She is the cause of my suffering. So let me just take revenge on her. How to take revenge? Worship Vishnu. So with that revengeful attitude, he worshipped Lord Vishnu. But Mother Suniti, while not continue the whole story, but only this portion, Mother Suniti very maturely guided her son. This is how mother should be. Right? Sometimes elders may induce some negative thoughts or feelings in the youngsters also. They may hold some grudge or envy or negativity towards someone else, and they may pass it on to their children also sometimes. But Mother Sunit is totally opposite. She said, please understand, philosophically, please understand, nobody suffers without deserving that suffering. So you please accept it as as a result of your own past misdeed. Continue. Worship Lord Vishnu. He will protect you if he desires and if you deserve. Right? So she said that. Okay, we discussed several examples, several stories. Just to make this one point, we suffer because of our own past misdeeds. And we suffer because the Lord has approved that suffering for our purification. Right? Clear. Even if we miss the punishment of a policeman for committing a theft, we will not miss the punishment of Yamaraj. You will not miss the punishment of the Supreme Lord Krishna because he is observing. We may think that I have done this mistake, nobody is observing me. No problem. So nobody caught me. Sometimes when we do something good and if people don't recognize our good activities or mentality and they may misunderstand us, we feel so disappointed. My good is not recognized. And we become so excited when our bad is not recognized. We become disappointed when our good is not recognized. You understand? If you are so unhappy that your good deeds are not acknowledged, you should also feel unhappy that your bad deeds are not acknowledged. Right? But in one case, we become exhausted, disappointed. In another case, we become excited. Yeah, very good, very good. Let people not know it. But please don't be disappointed when people in this world don't acknowledge your good deeds. Krishna will acknowledge. Krishna will give us the rewards. He is staying within the hearts of all living beings and watching our moods, deeds, and needs. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritirjnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. He stays within the hearts of all living beings. He knows everything that we are doing. If people are misunderstanding you, you don't worry. Krishna will never misunderstand us. And if we do something wrong, don't feel so excited, so happy that you have successfully hidden your misdeed from the eyes of common people and escaped punishment. We can never escape Krishna's punishment. Right? We will ensure that we will receive it at the right time. We may not immediately receive it. We may receive it after 2 weeks, 2 weeks quarantine. We may receive it after 2 lifetimes. Someday we will receive it. Okay. Sometimes we immediately get the effect of our misdeeds. Sometimes we will get little later. So you catch some virus, and for the doctor to detect how did that happen to you, he may take a couple of weeks. Where he may do blood test, he will do CT scan, he will do MRI, he will do X-ray, this and that. Then he'll figure out this is your problem. Sometimes when you're walking on the road, You hit some rock on the road, and suddenly your leg will bleed. So instant reaction for some mistakes. Okay, but sometimes there are delayed reactions. We can't exactly say, well, this is if I have done a mistake, I should immediately be told that you are going to suffer in this way. No, nobody is obliged to tell you all this. You are obliged to understand the consequences of your own good deeds or bad deeds, but nobody will actually inform us. Okay, so this is the discussion. Mother Suniti told Dhruva, you just take shelter of the Lord. He said, Tvameva vatsashraya bhartya vatsalam mumukshubhirmrugya padabja padhatim ananya bhave nija dharma bhavite manasya vasthapya bhajasva purusham. Many people have taken shelter of the Lord. Tvameva vatsa ashraya bhartya vatsalam. Therefore, you also take shelter of the Lord. Right? You don't hold any grudge or envy or negativity towards Suruchi just because she insulted you. You just take shelter of the Lord. That's all you can do. So now the next question is: everyone has to suffer because of past misdeeds only? Like, don't we see that there are some innocent people who are also suffering? Innocent people also suffer, right? Apparently, you see that person has not done any bad deed. He never spoke harshly to anyone. He never caused harm to anyone. But still, that innocent person is suffering. He looks so genuine, like a sadhu. Why he has to suffer? You get this thought, right? So again, I will take this discussion after 3-4 minutes. But now let me give you one example. Say there are 100 people sitting here. A thief came and he has stolen say $10,000 from our Devikiram Prabhu. You don't have 10 rupees also in your pocket, I know that. But say he has taken $10,000 from you. He has stolen and went away. And you have given a police complaint. And the police searching for the thief. He's searching everywhere, and then after 3-4 days, they caught the thief and then brought in front of you. And the thief has given the money back and is surrendered, and the thief is put in jail, and your money is given back to you. Okay, clear. So your money is stolen, and the thief is caught, and you got the money back, and the thief is punished also. Fine. So this solves the problem. Apparently, it seems. But 3 days did he not suffer? There are 100 people sitting here. Why did the thief steal from him only? Why not Kirti? Why not someone else? Why not somebody else? So why only this person? See, when 100 people are sitting and only we are catching, we are only encountering the problem, that means there's some pattern there. It's not random. Okay. So although I got my money back, although the thief is arrested, but the 3 days of suffering that I went through, 3 days of anxiety that I went through because my money is stolen, why did I experience that suffering? Because we deserve it. This one person amongst the 100 only deserved it, not the other 99. So the thief did not steal randomly. Okay. So don't worry, nobody's stealing from you. So it's just an example. Who is he looking at? Police. So nothing happens randomly. Now to take the discussion to the crescendo. You see, when an ordinary average person who is not practicing spiritual life suffers, it is purely because of past bad karma. Karmi suffers because of karma. Materialistic people suffer because of past misdeeds. Okay, it's clear. And second point. No, let me elaborate on this point only. Say this person deserved that suffering of money being stolen. But what is the thief doing there? Why he has to suffer in the jail for 6 months or 1 year or whatever? Why he has to suffer? He did the service of stealing the money and giving the deserved, giving the suffering that this person deserved, right? So why he has to suffer? Why the thief has to suffer? Please understand this point very carefully. The Supreme Lord Krishna is so expert that he delivers the quota of suffering that I need to suffer through a someone who has a tendency to misuse his or her independence. Okay. Say I deserve a slap. Krishna will find somebody who has a tendency to slap. And he'll bring me and that person close to come close to each other. And he will slap me. That he has a tendency to slap. For slapping me, he may suffer later. That's a different thing. Okay. But he has a tendency to slap, Krishna will use him. Okay, to slap me. Is it clear? I deserved it. And he has a tendency to do it. Krishna will use him. Say, I need to send this garland to someone sitting in the next room, right? So Devik anyways wants to go there to do something there. He wants to play Legos, okay, for example. So I will tell him, anyways, you're going there, take this garland to give him. Okay. So I will send it to him. Now he did not specifically go for me. Okay, he is going through on his own thing, but I have utilized his effort to do my thing also. Similarly, anyways, this person has a tendency to steal. Krishna will use that person to give me the anxiety of losing money. That is Krishna's speciality. Okay. So in our, I don't know if some of your technical background, in our masters, we used to have a subject called linear and non-linear optimization. Anyone has here? Optimization problems you have? You know that? Okay, good. So optimization means they give some conditions. Minimize something or maximize something subject to these constraints, right? For example, you have 10,000 rupees and you have to utilize it in certain way, subject to this has to be addressed, this has to be addressed, this can be allocated little funds, this can be postponed, like that 100 constraints are put, and accordingly you need to spend your money like that. So like you solve a problem, optimization problem, uh, by considering some conditions, right? But Krishna, he solves a multi-constrained optimization problem most effectively. So he will do the most optimum thing by utilizing all the manpower and resources and the free will, minute independence of different living entities. Did you get this point? Okay. So Krishna will utilize somebody who has a tendency to misuse his independence to deliver my quota of suffering to me. Nothing happens randomly. So what is my responsibility here? Why did I say this example? Let's go back to the first story that I spoke. What was the first story I spoke? Parikshit. Dharma. Dharma bull did not point out Kali as the suffering, as a cause of suffering. Have you noticed it? Kali is causing suffering to Dharma. It is very clear. But Dharma did not point out Kali as a cause of suffering because Dharma understood without me deserving it, without the Lord sanctioning it, Kali cannot cause. Therefore, let me not blame him. So now it's your duty to catch the thief and punish him. But if we hold grudge or negativity or envy towards the thief, we are getting more karma and we'll have to suffer for it in future. Do the needful. Hate the sin, not the sinner. Punish the sinner if required. Kill him also. But don't hold grudge. That will create more suffering for you in future. Is it clear? Getting too heavy? Now I'll tell you three types of people who suffer. One I already told you. A karmi, a materialistic person who is not practicing bhakti, he will suffer because of past misdeeds. It's very clear. Karmis suffer because of karma that we discussed. Second category, why practicing devotees suffer? You're already practicing bhakti, you're chanting Hare Krishna, daily 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra you're chanting. Okay, still there is suffering. And on top of it, Krishna promises कर्माणि निर्दहति किन्तु च भक्ति भाजाम गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमहम भजामि. Karmani nirdahati, not just dahati, nirdahati. Certainly all your karma is burned to ashes. if you do bhakti, right? We are practicing bhakti, right? We are practicing bhakti, right? We are chanting, we are hearing, we are worshipping the deities, we are eating prasadam only, so many things we are doing, but still practicing devotees also suffer for their purification. The reason uh, for the suffering of a practicing devotee is not karma exactly. It's not karma. Even in practice days, a devotee doesn't suffer because of karma. A devotee suffers because of Krishna's will. Krishna sanctioned suffering. Krishna caused suffering to a practicing devotee because of that devotee's anarthas, that devotee's aparadhs. There are so many anarthas, right? Even while we are practicing bhakti, we still have some kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara. That's why we are sadhakas, otherwise we are siddhas. As long as we are in sadhana stage, we still have certain shortcomings of little lust, envy, pride, greed, illusion, etc. Because of that, we keep committing some mistakes and we suffer. And Krishna gives some token suffering for those anarthas to purify us from those anarthas. So we have the anartha of anger, and we did something because of anger, and we have to suffer for it. It's not necessarily because of karma. Krishna can exhaust. The result of our own past misdeeds, Krishna can just relieve. But now currently we are misusing our independence and becoming victims of our own anarthas. Right? Somebody becomes a victim of lust while practicing bhakti. He has to be suffering. Right? Somebody becomes a victim of envy. Another devotee is doing nicely. Amazing service. They are unable to tolerate him. He is getting all the opportunities. Why not me? Why he is being praised by so many people? Why did he distribute 150 Bhagavad Gitas today? I am struggling to distribute even 15 Bhagavad Gitas. Sometimes a struggling sadhaka may not be able to maintain one's composure seeing another sadhaka's success, spiritual success. It's very easy to empathize and sympathize with other people when they are in suffering, but it's very difficult to tolerate their success, because when you are sympathizing or empathizing with someone suffering, you are here and they are here. But when they become successful, they are here and you are here. Tolerating their being there is very difficult compared to their being here. Here you may show compassion, mercy, sympathy, empathy, extend a helping hand because you are still giving hand from there and they are down below you. Right? But when they're there, you have to do like this. It's very difficult. This is easy. This is difficult. Right? Do you agree? Why? Because there is envy. As long as there is envy, we cannot rejoice the success of another devotee, even while chanting Hare Krishna, even while practicing bhakti. Anarthas. I said about envy. Similarly, there is pride. When you become successful, when you become so accomplished, sometimes you may look down upon another person. I distributed 150. You distributed only 15. When others perform better than us, there is envy. When we perform better than others, then there is pride. Even when we are performing service of Krishna, this happens because we are struggling sadhakas. And Krishna definitely has to give us some suffering, right? Some token punishment. Oh, you are so envious of my devotee. I give you this punishment. That punishment is Krishna's sanction, not necessarily karma. Krishna can relieve you from karma in 1 minute. But if you envy another devotee, if you are proud of your own devotional accomplishments, Krishna cannot forgive you. Krishna will give you some token punishment. He will not disown you, but he will disapprove your misdeed. Right? And the disapproval also comes in the form of a punishment. And another reason why devotees suffer, aparad, Vaishnava aparad, Nama aparad, Dhama aparad, Seva aparad, Guru aparad. We commit offenses, right? One is anarthas will make us suffer, aparadas also make us suffer. Because of anarthas and aparads, while practicing bhakti yoga, we suffer. Makes sense? So this is the saga of practicing devotees. We can elaborate more, but I will go to the next stage. We discussed about two types of people. Karmis, those who are not practicing bhakti, they suffer because of their past karma, past misdeeds. And Devotees who are practicing bhakti, they suffer because of aparadhas and anarthas. Clear? Then pure devotees, these are practicing devotees. They are not pure yet. They suffer because of their anarthas and aparadhas for their own purification. But pure devotees, why they suffer? Mother Earth is pure devotee. Why she is suffering? And Kunti Maharani, pure devotee. Why she is suffering? Pandavas, they are pure devotees. Why they are suffering? And Chitraketu Maharaj and Parikshit Maharaj and Prithu Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj. So many people encountered so many reversals in their lives. Uttara, so many people. Sita Devi, Lakshman, Bharat. Are they not devotees? We were discussing about them the other day. So even pure devotees who do not have any aparadhas, who do not have any anarthas, who do not commit any aparadhas, even they suffer. Why do they suffer? Not for their purification, for their glorification. It's for their glorification. Despite encountering hundreds and thousands of reversals and difficulties and calamities in life, my devotees will not give up faith in me. Krishna wanted to announce this to the whole world. Therefore, he arranges suffering in the lives of pure devotees. Okay. So pure devotees suffer not for their purification, but for their glorification. To announce their faith to the path of bhakti. To make all of us understand that that pure devotees do not blame Krishna, even though they are subjected to a lot of suffering in this world. Draupadi, what sin she has committed, what aparadh she has committed, why she has to be dragged by the Dushasan. He was holding her hair and dragging her into the assembly where there are hundreds and thousands of men, a chaste woman, and he was trying to disrobe her. What a disgusting act. In a cultured society, in the Vedic society, can anyone behave like this with a woman? And why that has to happen to Mother Draupadi, such a pure devotee, such a chaste woman? He was trying to disrobe her. Krishna never allowed that to happen. He immediately came in the form of unlimited sari. That's fine, Krishna protected, but still she was dragged, right? An attempt was made. Even that is a great humiliating thing. He was dragging her by her hair. Why she has to suffer like that? Despite that, did she lose her faith in Krishna? Even to that degree, devotees do not lose their faith in Krishna. To announce that. What devotees experience if Krishna, they are dedicating themselves so much to Krishna, and then Krishna is allowing them to undergo all these difficulties and suffering to announce their faith only. What are they experiencing in Krishna's reciprocation, so much so that they don't give up faith even in difficulty? The answer is that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives this answer in 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Can't Krishna reciprocate with his devotees just by giving only pleasure to them without pain? Okay, announcing faith is one thing. Can't he enjoy with them by giving only pleasure without pain? Then why Mother Earth has to suffer because of so many demoniac kings? She has to carry the burden of so many demoniac kings on her surface. Why? Why can't Krishna always keep her happy? Why can't Krishna keep Pandavas happy? Do they have to go for Vanvas? So Vishnu Chakravarti says, my dear sir, you are asking this question, you don't understand rasa. That's why you are asking this question. You don't understand rasa. What is rasa here? They are suffering and you are talking about rasa. Yeah, that is rasa. That is rasa. How? I often give this example, funny example to explain this concept. You eat rasgulla, then rasmalai, then sandesh, then burfi, then sweet rice, and what is that? Fruit cream today. They have had fruit cream. Fruit cream. You eat so many sweets back to back, and then someone gives you some papri after eating 7 sweets. You can't relish it, right? So then you eat mirchi. The other day, when I went to Prabhu's house, they gave that brown color mirchi. What is it called? Salla mirchi, okay, salla mirchi. It's absolutely not spicy at all. You can eat it. It's very good. Good for good. I ate it. My God, my eyes were watering and my nose was watering. And after that, I ate sweet also. I ate this much of what is that called? What sweet that I gave? Cheesecake, something like that.
Cheesecake.
I ate full cheesecake. Still, my tongue is burning. Right? Earlier, I was not very excited to eat cheesecake, but I enthusiastically ate so much of cheesecake because I ate mirchi. Right? So that mirchi made me relish this cheesecake better. Right? So after little suffering, when Krishna comes and relieves you from that suffering, that rasa is different. After eating 10 sweets, 11th sweet will not give you so much excitement. After eating one mirchi, if you eat, if you eat sweet, that's very exciting, isn't it? So that's why Krishna gives suffering to pure devotees and he will make them desperate. Then Krishna will come and relieve them from suffering. It's all drama only. All drama. No reality here. Full drama. So in that there is excitement. Okay. So in that there is a lot of excitement. Say we did some drama long back in our GEV. There is one devotee playing the role of Sita, another devotee who is a little well built, he is playing the role of Ravana. Okay. Now the scene is Ravana has to come and kidnap Sita. Both are brahmacharis. And that our brahmachari wore a saffron sari, Sita roll, with some saffron uttariya on her head, and he was there, and Ravana came to kidnap her. So he just took his hand and then trying to drag her, and meanwhile, our Jatayu devotee came. Right? He had great decoration. He's wearing a dress of fur, and his hands are inserted in big wings, and he's wearing a big mask of a eagle or vulture, and he came to fight with Ravana. Ravana is having a sword, plastics. Right? So the director has planned for a big fight between Ravana and Jatayu, and with a great background music. So Jatayu came. Ravana is taking Sita away. Jatayu came and attacked Ravana. Ravana picked up his sword and then did like this. And Jatayu fell down dead. Okay. In 1 second, 5 minutes scene is planned. In 1 second, he fell down on the ground. And the background music is going on. And Ravana was waiting for Jatayu to get up and fight. Jatayu is just dead only. Audience are very confused what's happening. And Ravana did not know what to do. He took it and went away. And for 5 minutes or 4 minutes, focus light is on Jatayu's dead body. That's all. And the director cannot even order for the next scene to happen because the background music is going on, everything is in continuation, and audience are getting bored. Some people are saying, how long this will scene continue? Okay. So everybody knows that Sita will be kidnapped by Ravana and Jata will be dead. But that should happen after 5 minutes, not now. Okay? Because in that 5 minutes there is rasa, there is excitement, there is emotion. And Sita is crying and shouting, and Jata is fighting, and Ravana is just cutting his feathers and hands. And there's a lot of emotion that is involved there. If that scene is nicely enacted, audience will get rasa, taste, although they know the conclusion. Similarly, devotees are experiencing some pain, and pure devotees are 100% sure Krishna will come and protect. But still, while experiencing that pain, in that emotion, there is rasa. Okay. The more you suffer, and then Krishna comes and relieves you from pain, when you are on the verge of death, there is rasa. Why all the movies are flourishing so much? Although hero is there and heroine is there and villain is there and hero will ultimately kill the villain. Okay, done. But 3 hours movie, right? So many fighting scenes, right? So much of masala, so much of emotion, so much of turmoil, so many dialogues. Ultimately, hero will kill the villain. But if he shows the climax scene, last 2 minutes in the beginning, and says movie is over, bye bye, there is no rasa, right? So this is experience of rasa. So when devotees, pure devotees undergo suffering and Krishna comes to relieve them from suffering, there is rasa, experience of rasa. Mother loves the child, right? Constantly, every moment there is love. But when the child becomes sick, child is suffering because of some reason, then mother gives more attention to the child, even at the cost of sacrificing her own sleep and comforts and food. Then the child will understand, my mother loves me so much, right? So on a regular basis, when the child is healthy, mother's love is there, but it is not so intensely manifest because child is not desperate. But when the child is desperate, is having some serious sickness, then the mother sacrifices so many things and then attends to the needs of the child. Then the child can experience mother's love to such a great intensity, and the mother can express so much love to that great intensity. And Krishna wants that. Krishna is our supreme mother, right? He's our supreme father. So that's why he may put some pure devotees also in desperate suffering situations, and he comes and relieves them. And they both are experiencing rasa, and common people are misunderstanding, right? Why this has happened to Draupadi? Why this has happened to Narada Muni in the past life? His mother died, 5-year-old child, only protector mother died, and it's a tragic scene. But the child is saying, okay, fine, my mother has gone to the spiritual world in the loving company of Krishna, and now I need to help him, I need to worship him. So, just to elaborate on this story, in the past life of Narada Muni was the son of a maid servant. He and his mother, both of them served Bhaktivedanta sages. In the association of the sages, Narada Muni, even as a 5-year-old child, he became so mature in his bhakti, he went to prema level. Okay. And Bhaktivedanta sages initiated him in bhakti, and they left, and Narada Muni is continuing to practice bhakti. And his mother died by the snake bite one evening. And Narada Muni felt that this is a situation arranged by the Lord. My Lord is Bhaktanam Shamabhipsataha. Means he always desires auspiciousness for his devotees. Just now, his mother died, his only protector died, and he was 5 years old. And this little child is perceiving that my Lord always desires auspiciousness for me and nothing else. There is no misunderstanding. A devotee never doubts the intention or integrity of Krishna. All the devotee experiences unlimited reversals in life. This is the nature of a devotee. Suffering continues to exist, but it doesn't shake the existence of bhakti in the heart of a devotee. Okay. So, as a 5-year-old child, this Narada boy, he served the Bhaktivedanta sages so much, and he went to prema level. His mother must have done more service to the Bhaktivedanta sages, isn't it? Will she not attain a better destination than the boy? Definitely, she must have gone to the spiritual world. And even if that is not the case, she must have attained another life in which she continues to practice bhakti, not in a poverty-stricken condition like this, isn't it? So, Krishna will never do injustice. He's the master of supreme justice. We can never misunderstand Krishna. I'll conclude in 2-3 minutes. Bhaktanam Shamabhipsataha. First canto, 6th chapter, somewhere in 8, 9, 10 shlokas you can see. So Narada Muni's conclusion is, my Lord always causes auspiciousness to my devotees. He can never desire inauspiciousness for his devotees. So Narada Muni had that perspective. Chitraketu was cursed to become a demon. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die within 7 days. But why? Such a pure devotee. Why he has to suffer like this? No, it's not suffering. In Vaikuntha, the Supreme Lord Vishnu is missing Parikshit Maharaj. He said, Parikshit, come back, wind up everything and come back. How much time, my dear Lord? 7 days. In 1 week, you should be with me. Okay, I'll come. Okay. In this 1 week, what am I supposed to do? Hear Bhagavatam. Through you, all these people will get Bhagavatam. You just hear Bhagavatam. That's all. Apparently, for a small mistake done by Parikshit Maharaj, he was cursed to die within 7 days. But actually, after 7 days, where is he going? Vaikuntha. So the Lord has decided. So on a material plane, there is suffering, but on spiritual plane, there is bliss. So an immature person doesn't perceive or understand the spiritual bliss being experienced by the Lord and the devotee behind the material suffering. Externally, there is suffering, but ultimately there is bliss. Okay. And devotees don't give up their faith. Uttara came running towards Krishna. When Ashwatthama released the Brahmastra to kill the little child within the womb of Mother Uttara, she came running to Krishna. Just very recently, she lost her husband. Who is the husband of Uttara? Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu died in the battlefield. Did Uttara think that this Krishna did not protect my husband Abhimanyu? Will he protect my son Parikshit? I will not go to him. Let me go somewhere else. I will find some other deity. I will find some other god. No. Her faith in Krishna did not slacken despite losing her husband very recently. She again came to Krishna only. No calculations. She was not calculating. Okay. Arjuna, I think there is better option. I'll go to Arjuna. Or maybe Bhima. Or maybe Yudhishthir. Or maybe someone else. Or Bhishma is lying on the battlefield, let me go there. He may do something. She is not having any calculation. Just like a child spontaneously takes shelter of the mother without any calculations, whether the mother is capable of protecting the child from danger or not, child will go to mother only. There is no calculation in the part of a child. There is pure spontaneity, and quite naturally, child goes to the mother. Similarly, a devotee's dependence on Krishna is also natural and spontaneous without any calculations. Okay. So even if Krishna doesn't protect apparently on a material plane, devotee understands that on a spiritual plane, Krishna is always my protector. Okay. What is protection? Protection is not giving material prosperity. Protection is not saving one from financial problems or health problems or this problem, that problem. Protection is protecting the consciousness, protecting the faith, protecting the inspiration to continue on the path of bhakti. That's the real protection that the Lord gives. Right? So, in that sense, Krishna is the supreme protector. So, apparently, there are 100 difficulties, even in the lives of pure devotees, but they're experiencing rasa with Krishna. They're experiencing happiness, the bliss of Krishna bhakti. So, but we think, oh, Krishna is doing injustice. Why Krishna's devotees are always suffering? Why Vishnu's devotees are always suffering in this way? So, suffering is not Krishna's lack of reciprocation. It's not Krishna's lack of mercy. Suffering is an opportunity for us to intensify our remembrance of Krishna, enhance our absorption in Krishna consciousness. A devotee sees calamity as an opportunity to increase one's dependence on Krishna, remembrance of Krishna, absorb in Krishna. So that's why Kunti Maharani is praying for more difficulties. Vipadaha santu taha shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yasya apunar bhavadarshanam. So there is no need of taking darshan of this material world again. You know what is the meaning of darshan? Two meanings. Darshan is devotional sight, and darshan is also philosophical insight. Yeah, say the two meanings of darshan. And philosophical insight. So we should take darshan of Krishna's form, definitely the beautiful form of Krishna, devotional sight. But we should also take darshan of Srimad Bhagavatam and equip ourselves with a lot of philosophical insights so that we don't become so overwhelmed by the ups and downs of this life. The material life is filled with so many difficulties, bewildering situations, confusing situations. But amidst all confusing situations, we can maintain our composure when we have the right philosophical insight in that situation. For that, we need to regularly hear Srimad Bhagavatam. When we regularly take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam's wisdom and equip ourselves with the philosophy and teachings of Bhagavatam, then we have the right insight into into our life situations. We'll get the right perspective. So Bhagavatam wisdom will illuminate our perspectives and see things from a spiritual perspective, devotional perspective, and don't get overwhelmed by the external suffering that it causes. Yes, we have to deal with suffering, no doubt about it. We have to avoid suffering by all means. We should try our best to avoid suffering. We should not say, it's Krishna's will, Krishna sanctioned it, I deserve it, let me experience it. No. You do your best to mitigate that suffering. You do your best to avoid suffering. It may be raining everywhere. That doesn't mean you don't take an umbrella. Oh, it's Krishna's will, it's raining. Yeah, it's by Krishna's will, it's raining. But Krishna has given you umbrella, right? Use it. So when we are trying to fight with suffering, trying to avoid suffering, we are basically using our God-given money, intelligence, manpower, resources, skills, talents, experience in counteracting that suffering. Ultimately, our protecting ourselves with all these faculties is only sanctioned by Krishna. So Krishna may have arranged some suffering. Krishna has also given us some intelligence to counteract that suffering, right? Why should we say, it's Krishna's will, let me experience it? So we have to endeavor to avoid suffering to the best of our ability, no doubt about it. But when situation goes beyond your control, surrender to the situation without blaming Krishna. Right? So you do your best and leave the rest to Krishna. Okay? But if you don't even do your best and you keep on blaming Krishna, why Krishna you did this? I gave you the suffering also because you deserve it, but I gave you the intelligence to come out of it also. Use it. Okay. I gave you the resources, money, manpower to counteract, do that. But if it goes beyond your capabilities in all ways, surrender. You can't do much. Right? Yeah. Ultimately, Krishna is my well-wisher. Let me just accept it. Okay. So Pandavas went to Bhishma when Bhishma was on the bed of arrows, not roses. You know what Bhishma said? Aho kashtam nyayam yadyuyam dharmanandana jivitam narhatah klishtam vipradharmachyutashrayah. Aho kashtam, aho anyayam. My dear Pandavas, how many difficulties you have faced. Anyayam, how many injustices you have encountered. Unlimited. Yadyuyam dharmanandana, you're all sons of dharma, but still you underwent a lot of difficulties. Jivitam narhatah klishtam, you don't, it's very difficult to even live, continue life amidst all these sufferings. But you survived. Why? Vipra dharma achyuta ashrayah. You have taken shelter of Vipra, means devotees. Dharma means bhakti. Achyuta means Krishna. When we take shelter of Krishna, the process of bhakti and the devotees of Krishna, we will be able to endure all sufferings without losing faith in Krishna. What gives us that ability, what equips us with the maturity to deal with suffering without getting devastated? When there is suffering, when there is difficulty, we become so discouraged, demotivated, disappointed, depressed, and become dysfunctional. We can avoid all these D's by doing one thing. Vipra dharmachyutashraya. Vipra means all the devotees. Dharma is the process of bhakti. Achyuta means Krishna. When we take shelter of Krishna, Bhakti, Bhagavan, and Bhagavatas, if we take shelter of these three, we can tolerate. Then he said, Yatra dharma suto raja gada panir vrkodaraha Krishnostrigandi chapam suhrit Krishnastato vipat. Where Dharmaraj is there, Gandiva, Dhari, Arjuna is there. Where so many people are there, why still there is suffering? Krishna is direct, your direct well-wisher, still you are suffering. So Hurut Krishna Stato with Krishna is your direct well-wisher, your advisor, your guide. Still you are suffering. If Pandavas are suffering, what's the big surprise if I suffer? Not a big deal, right? So we need to accept it. So is it karma? No. How can these people have prarabdha karma? They are Pandavas, they are pure devotees. Is it because of Kala? Or Bhishma also says that Sarvam Kala Kritam Manye Bhavatam cha yada priyam Sapalo yadvashe loko vayo riva ghanavalihi. Sarvam Kala Kritam Manye. I consider that everything is happening because of Kala. Kala Kritam Manye. But later he said, Bhavatam cha yada priyam. Whatever unfavorable thing is caused to you because of Kala, I think this is not the right explanation. Kala is not the cause. Time cannot influence pure devotees like you. Karma is not the cause. Kala is also not the cause. What is the cause? Tasmadidam daivatantram. This is all daivatantram. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, has personally orchestrated it, planned it for you. Experience it, endure it, enjoy it. Right? So, rule the kingdom. So, Bhishma reconciled. Like that, there are several such episodes throughout our scriptures, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all this, where devotees encountered so many sufferings, but they did not lose faith. They experienced all the sufferings with all endurance and integrity and tolerance. Ultimately, they were experiencing the warmth of Krishna in all that. By the way, by experiencing suffering, we don't lose anything. We only gain. We gain realizations. We gain several experiences. We gain maturity. We become thick skinned, not hard hearted. We should not be hard hearted, but we should become thick skinned. You understand, right? The difference? Let's become thick skinned, not hard hearted. Mountain is a mountain during rain. Nobody will go with a scrubber and soap uh, and mop to clean the mountain, right? When it rains heavily, mountains dust is completely washed away, and all the creepers and plants and trees on the mountain will become very green, lush green. So when it rains, everybody will go under some shelter or under some homes made of mountains, rocks, or they may enter the caves of a mountain and take shelter. But mountain, nobody is holding an umbrella above the mountain. There's only once an umbrella is held above a mountain. When Krishna lifted Govardhan Lila, he called Sudarshan Chakra, you become an umbrella. Govardhan became our umbrella and you become Govardhan's umbrella. Except that event, no mountain was given an umbrella. But by tolerating that rain, mountain shines. All the dirt is washed away and mountain becomes clean and green, right? Similarly, by tolerating pains, we become clean and green. We will be washed, all the anarthas are washed away from us. You can compare dust with anarthas, just like mountain when it experiences rain, the dirt is washed away. When we experience pain, our lust is washed away. Our anarthas are washed away. Mountain shines, like all the rocks shine in bright brown, and all the plants and creepers shine in bright green when it rains, right? Similarly, we will shine with realizations. We will shine with experiences. Will shine with maturity by experiencing pain. Without boiling the brinjal in hot boiling oil, will it give the taste? Have you ever eaten raw brinjal? No, raw brinjal. No. But have you eaten cooked brinjal, boiled brinjal? The full one, which is cut in pieces, cut some little cut is made and some masala is inserted. You take full brinjal like this. I don't know what you call in your language. So there's extra maja in eating that, where it is because deep fried. So similarly, when we also boil ourselves, not in kumbhi paka, this is different, so that will increase our taste. Anyways, there are many more examples that can be spoken. Let me conclude. What's the time now?
45.
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm testing your patience. You're tolerating me for 1.5 hours. Okay, I'll conclude here. If you have any questions or comments, you can say. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Yes, Mataji, you had a couple of
I was
questions.
curious to know, do the renunciated people believe in destiny?
Yes.
My question is, do the renunciated people believe in destiny?
Mhm. Yes, there is destiny, but that can be changed by a spiritualist, by taking shelter of Krishna. That's a short answer. You want long answer or short answer? Destiny is there. Destiny is basically a result of our past deeds. But sometimes people will say, my current deed is also destiny. I have taken this decision, my destiny. No, destiny is a result of your decision. Your decision is not your destiny. Okay, right? While experiencing the result of your past deeds means while experiencing some destiny, you still retain some little decision making power, right? Anyways, does it answer the question? Yes.
Sometimes it is said that for pure devotees also, there's some little attachment to the material world. So remove the last vestiges of
Yes.
material attachment, they're almost pure.
Hmm.
But to become completely hopeless
Hmm.
and depend on Krishna, Prabhupada says, Yasyaham anugrinami harishyatad. This happened to him because, like, so that he would completely come to the point of depending on Krishna.
Yes.
So, can we say all the suffering in this world, whether it's for a devotee or a non devotee, is ultimately to push us towards Krishna?
Exactly.
Where it's everything is to correct our mentality of being the enjoyer separately from Krishna. So, everything is orchestrated for this purpose. So, whatever.
Yes.
Uh,
That's the truth.
hmm.
That's perfectly the truth.
And in Draupadi's case, there is some past life history. I don't know if that is.
Yeah, it may be there.
Yeah, she didn't respect Purushottam Mas in the past life, and then there was some conversation with Dhruva.
Multiple reasons can be given.
And also, she insulted the Indraprastha. He fell down.
They are not the ultimate reasons. The whole, yeah, you may have find so many reasons. All of them can be valid also. Like we found so many reasons for suffering, right? Kala, karma, swabhava, and all that. The ultimate reason is our own past deeds and Krishna's sanction. Similarly, in this Draupadi Vastaharan case, the ultimate Vaishnava explanation for that is this: when every single force or power in the entire creation fails to protect us, Krishna is there to protect us. Bhishma did not protect, Drona did not protect, Karna did not. Karna, forget protection, he even insulted her more. Uh, Dhritarashtra, who is sitting on the throne as Maharaj, he did not protect. All the Pandavas became powerless. Everybody had some reason or the other. But ultimately, Krishna has no obligations. If he wants to protect his devotees, he will come and protect. Right? Nobody can stop him. So just to prove that point.
Is it also to make us disgusted with this material existence?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
But you mentioned the other day, too much detachment is an attachment.
Yeah. Should not be too attached to our detachment also. Yes, Prabhu. I'm very eagerly waiting for your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the wonderful class. So, after devotees reach the pure stage, there may be many that are very opulent as well, like Prataparudra Maharaj. Advaitacharya was mentioned, he's Vishnu Tattva, but still very opulent. Even in Bhagavatam, I think it's King Bahulasva in Mithila, who is very opulent. So, why is Krishna, what's the reason for Krishna giving some pure devotees opulence and some pure devotees suffering?
Yesterday we discussed elaborately on all this. Oh, that was in Pittsburgh. Yeah. So Krishna may bestow opulence to some devotees and he may have some devotees who are very much poverty stricken. So, to keep the long answer very short, very concise, if Krishna sees that opulence becomes a distraction in the spiritual life of a devotee, he will take away the opulence. If Krishna is confident that material opulence doesn't distract a devotee from bhakti, Prahalad never wanted it. Narasimha said, be opulent. Prachadasa never wanted it. But Lord Vishnu said, be opulent. Rule for thousands and thousands of years. But Avanti Brahman, his opulence was an obstacle in his bhakti. Krishna has taken away everything. Bali Maharaj, he was a little proud of his charitable disposition. Krishna begged charity from him, Vamanadev begged charity from him and took away all his opulence, and Bali Maharaj did not have anything. So Krishna removed that little pride in Bali and made him pure devotee. And Sudama had little pride in his renounced spirit. He was the one who is attached to his detachment. So you are proud of your poverty, you are proud of your detachment, I'll give you so much opulence and humble you. Right? So whether Krishna gives wealth or takes away wealth, his intention is only to bring his devotees closer to him, and the pride and little bit of material attachments in the life of a devotee could create some obstacles in their coming close to Krishna. So Krishna will do the needful to purify them from those unwanted things. Make sense? Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. So most of us are all suffering here at some point, one way or the other, right? So, but when we listen to Krishna Katha or listen to Bhagavatam, where there were so many reversals for pure devotees, but then at the end, Krishna came and rescued them, blessed them, liberated them, and all that. So there is immediately good feeling, right? So we immediately go to that role and say, "Oh, I'm suffering, but at some point, Krishna is going to come and help us," right? So, but that is applicable for pure devotees, right? Right. But for us, where at least for me, I'm trying to be a devotee. So, is that right or wrong to think that, okay, have an expectation at least that Krishna is going to be helping me at the end? Or do I see a light at the end of the tunnel? Or just don't have any expectation, right? Like Krishna will do his job, whether it is good or bad for me because of whatever I have done. So listen to these kathas for the sake of listening, but don't take that and enforce yourself in your life that, okay, at some point I'm going to be, I'll be reaching Krishna. Don't have the expectation. How do we understand this?
In the sadhaka stage, sometimes a sadhaka may expect something from Krishna. Krishna, relieve me from this suffering, or make me successful in this endeavor. Please bless this endeavor. So sadhakas may do that sometimes, right? However, as a part of sadhana, we are also taught, Krishna, if you so desire, please relieve me from this difficulty so that I can serve you better. Okay, there's an expectation because of the desperation, but we leave it to Krishna. Krishna, if you desire so, let this happen. If you desire, please relieve me from this suffering. But the other day also we were discussing, right? On the first day, Gajendra requested Krishna, please relieve me from suffering. But at the end, Gajendra said, even if you save me from this crocodile, I don't want to continue in this life. So sadhaka is a person who evolves in his devotional understanding and desires also. Initially, sadhaka may desire relief from suffering, but eventually, when one matures in one sadhana, sadhaka tries to accept the will of the Lord. But Lord, if you want me to undergo this suffering, let me undergo. But it seems to my intelligence that if I don't have this problem, I can serve you better. But if you feel that I need to experience this problem and thus serve you, or that's good for me, I'll leave it to you. Okay. So eventually one may seek relief, but the more we become mature, the more we depend on will of Krishna. We accept Krishna's will the way it comes. Yes, with all God-given intelligence, we have to relieve ourselves from suffering. But ultimately, the maturity in sadhana is in accepting Krishna's will the way it comes. Makes sense, bro? Yeah.
Sometimes we find material solutions. Like if I have a problem, so I try to enhance my material situation and do this, but that creates more problems. And then as you were saying,
Dukkaushadam tadapi dukkham atadhiya.
yes. So it makes our life more complicated than what it was before by finding some materials. You were saying that like some devotees, they just like Kadamba Kanan Maharaj, right? He had this thing. He just went to Vrindavan and just gave up his life there. It just because you take chemotherapy and so many things, and it just prolongs your suffering and may cause many side effects and so many things like that. So how does a devotee decide, like, how much of one should try to, cure once, or should at one point, okay, I just give up and just, it is Krishna's will, or as you are saying, oh, I have to take an umbrella because Krishna has given me that intelligence. But how do you know that do I have to really take an umbrella or just accept it? So what?
Except the rain. Okay, become wet. So the answer to this question is not black and white, but it is a customized uh, thing. Ultimately, the devotee has to decide: should I fight back? Should I tolerate? Both options are right. But a general recommendation given by uh, the acharyas, the scriptures is somehow or the other try to protect your life, try to save your life. Do your best not to fall sick. Try your best to recover from sickness. Protect yourself from natural calamities or attacks by other human beings. Yeah, devotee may understand. Devotee understands that every living being is a child of God. But the devotee doesn't go and embrace a tiger. That becomes the last embrace of the life. Right? So we may not. Kunti Maharani consciously invited more suffering. She's on a different level. But in all general cases, devotees try to avoid suffering to the best of one's ability. There is some fever. Even if he's a devotee, he has to take medicine. Let this fever cause problem to me. So one need not consciously keep oneself in a suffering situation that doesn't come under austerity. Austerity is a little different. Okay. Uh, so to that degree, yes, it is. We have to avoid suffering. But if a devotee chooses uh, that, okay, I have got this disease, let me just experience this suffering, let me not take any other solutions, that is the devotee's choice, right? Like, you see, Vasudev saw that Kamsa was trying to kill Devaki. Vasudev did not keep quiet. Vasudev did his best to protect Devaki's life. Okay. So on the other hand, we see Durvasa Muni trying to kill Ambrish Maharaj. Ambrish said, let it happen. Huh? And Jada Bharat, Rahugana's soldiers caught Jada Bharat, engaged him forcefully in carrying palanquin, and later some dacoits caught Jada Bharat and tried to kill him. Jada Bharat did not do anything to save himself. So we saw some devotees, advanced devotees, not taking any measures to protect themselves, and we saw many advanced devotees taking all measures to protect themselves. Both are correct, depending on the inspiration of a devotee. Uh, so it's individual's choice. A recommendation or a black and white formula is not given, but a general recommendation is that we should try to protect ourselves to the best of our ability. Okay. Yes, ma'am. How long should we go, please? Yes, ma'am. You can ask me.
Sometimes we see very young children suffer, 3 years, 4 years. And when you look at those children, they seem incredibly wise, although they're so young, either by dint of suffering or going through pain. Even at that age, they are incredibly wise. They have understanding of God and all that. So how do you reconcile when young children suffer, and how do you reconcile when young children suffer because of genetic diseases that they were placed in that particular family with that mother and that father, and that's why they have that certain disease?
Yeah.
So how do you make sense of young children suffering?
We have discussed it, right? Nothing is happening randomly. There's a background. A living being may be in a body that is 2-year-old or 3-year-old, but the living being has no age. There is unlimited number of lifetimes that the living being has already passed through, and in this body the living entity is undergoing some experience which is not random at all. Yes, we need to sympathize with them, empathize with them, and help them, support them, cure them to the best of our ability. We can't say, is your karma suffer. That we should never say. That would be very cruel and violent. But we should try our best. But philosophically understanding, nothing happens randomly. Right? So everything happens with a reason behind it. So we need to philosophically understand it. But our philosophical understanding should not make us impractical or heartless. Our philosophy is meant, that I was saying, right? Philosophy is not meant to make us hard-hearted or kill our emotions, but philosophy is meant to protect us from being overly emotional and thus dysfunctional. Right? We need to philosophically reconcile things internally, but also practically act externally. Okay. So does it make sense?
No, this question is very
I'm not sure of my resources.
I have not heard it.
not take remedy devotions, but just take Harinam.
I have heard this opinion not as a statement from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, but it's the preference of some devotee. But I don't know what is the source. But whether someone does it or doesn't do it, it doesn't put the person out of the realm of your devotional service. Ultimately, devotee wants to protect one's body also to serve Krishna only. Okay. Should we officially conclude the class and have an informal discussion if somebody has more questions? I don't want to hold devotees back. We are officially ending the class. Please go ahead. I don't want to.
Prabhu ki jai.